Okay, good evening, folks. Welcome to the Meet Your College session for the College of Earth, Ocean, and Environment. We are very excited that you are joining us. My name is Kelly Kerbway. I'm the Senior Assistant Dean for the college. Valerie, you want to introduce yourself?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Valerie Yancey, and I'm the academic advisor for the college.
So this evening, we're just going to go over a brief overview of the college, what to expect, how to prepare for your advising appointments with Valerie and myself. We're going to answer any kind of questions you have, and hopefully at the end of the session, you're going to be ready for the fall semester. We're very excited to welcome you for the fall. Just so you know a little bit about our office. So our office is considered the Student Success Center, the SSC. We're located in Robinson Hall. So if you're around this summer, walking through Robinson Hall, take a peek. Full disclosure, our office is going to be completely dark right now because we're going to be on Zoom meeting with you all to plan your fall course schedules. So in addition to Valerie and myself, we also have Miss Janice Brown, who's our academic support coordinator. So the nice thing about being in a college the size of ours is that you're not going to get bounced around place to place. Valerie and I have offices right beside each other, and we talk pretty much all day, every day. So you'll when you reach out to one of us, you're actually getting one of us and not cycled through a large group of people. During this presentation, Valerie and I are going to hand off to one another and talk about various things. But also, if you have questions, put questions in the chat. We're happy to answer things as we go along. We might actually tell you that we'll answer some things towards the end. So, but if you have questions, put them in the chat. So tonight, this is the quick agenda. We'll probably talk for about 30 to 40 minutes and then answer any kind of questions you have. We'll talk a little bit about the overview of the college. We'll talk about our office and what our office can do for you. Academic advising and registration procedures, very important days for you to remember, student engagement and other opportunities, and then question and answer. So this is our mission. So our goal is to help our folks in our college seek to be leaders and by advancing scientific understanding of the world and its systems. So we do that through interdisciplinary research and teaching. And we want our students to engage and inform policy locally, nationally, and globally. You'll get those opportunities through CEOE. Through your classwork and through all of your experiences within the college and at UD. We do that by offering opportunities for interdisciplinary research. And when we say interdisciplinary, we mean both within the college and across the university. So if you have an interest and you want to work with another department, our college does that well because the study of the earth and the study of the environment touches on every single college at the University of Delaware. So we'll talk about that at length a little further. Our academic programs are meant to inspire and transform students. So all of you have been admitted to a specific major. Most of you are marine science majors. We have some environmental science majors, environmental studies, meteorology and climatology, geology, GI science and data analytics, and we have a couple geography folks too. So just so you know, that's the community that you're joining. We have lots of opportunities for experiential learning, so lots of hands-on learning and field experience. We offer access to cutting-edge technology and research, and we believe in building up the community in which we are engaged in, and that's locally, regionally, globally. So, you know, we have a lot of students who are doing work within the greater Delaware Valley area, but we also have students who do work around the world. We've got students who are studying in Hawaii and overseas and various countries right now. So, and we have a robust study abroad program too that we'll talk about. These are the different majors within the college. You've probably all seen this slide before, but we are two departments and a school. So the Department of Earth Sciences houses our Earth Science education and our Earth Sciences Bachelor's of Arts and Bachelor's of Science degrees. Geography and Spatial Sciences houses our Meteorology and Climatology program, Geography and Geography Education, Environmental Science, Environmental Studies, and GI Science and Environmental Data Analytics. And the School of Marine Sciences houses our Marine Science program, and you can pick a concentration either in marine biology or oceanography. So lots of opportunities to study really great things. It is when you matriculate to the university, you'll start hearing things within the departments from all three departments about different seminars that they offer and how to engage within the department as well. So, Valerie, anything you want to add to that? Oh, you're muted still.
Sorry. So I do want to share if everyone could remain on mute unless you have a question, just so we can hear each other. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. So our office is the Student Success Center. We serve around 460 students. It sort of depends on what our enrollment is every year. So we're between 460 and 470 students right now. That's undergraduate students. We also house about 140 graduate students. And our job is to guide you from these meetings where we talk about getting you to the university through graduation. So we do that through great academic advising and collaboration with our faculty. We deal with any kind of registration issues. We help interpret academic policies. Our job is to connect students to various resources on campus that can include anything from financial services to well-being to student activities. One of the nice things is when you come into the college, you're going to automatically be assigned to your academic advisor. Your academic advisor is Valerie. So for all of you, you can meet with Valerie. And then for our honor students, you will also meet with our undergraduate program coordinators very early on, and you'll have an advisor through the Honors College. In addition to that, we assign you a faculty advisor when you hit your junior year mark. So that is to help you get connected to internships and additional research opportunities by the time you're at the junior level. Valerie, anything to add?
Yeah, so it's a great point Kelly mentioned already to you all. Outside of just making sure that you are well versed in terms of making sure you're on target according to plan as far as your degree program, our office also supports you outside of the classroom by offering opportunities to engage with your fellow classmates. So you will see throughout the entire academic year opportunities where you can engage with other classmates via activities. So planning programs, events. We also have a group of students called our lovely environmentors, which are student leaders or ambassadors, as we call them. So you will have the opportunity to really connect and meet with them as well. They're small group of upperclassmen who are some of you have identical programs or pursuing degrees such as yourselves, but really there to kind of help you along the way, helping you with your transition from high school to college, because we know you all would love to meet with us, with Kelly and I, but it's even better that you meet and connect with students around your age, to join and meet together, establish friendships early on, but also just to be a guide and also a resource to you while you're at the University of Delaware. So a lot of opportunities to get involved.
And one of the other things that I always try to point out at this program, and I can't, when we do programs like this, and I can't believe that I forgot, is the pictures that you see on these slides are our actual students doing actual things within their degree programs. So the pictures that you see on this slide, this is one of the first year marine science courses. They went out on a field trip in Lewis on the Joanna Daber, which is one of our boats that we have for student use. They did some trawling along the Delaware Bay, and they brought up a bunch of stuff. There's some different fish in there. There's some skates. And they do this field trip every fall, and they also go out again in the spring and do a horseshoe crab survey. And the other picture that you see there is our most recent graduating class, and they're lined up to walk across the stage. So when you see these pictures, these are actual students. They're not stock photos. We like to show off all the fun things that we're doing in the college. So our advising model, everyone is assigned to Valerie. We've gone over this already briefly. You'll be assigned a faculty advisor in your third year. If you want to add a major or a minor, you will have an additional advisor. You can add a second major or change your major or add a minor after you have a GPA at the end of the fall semester. There's a web form. It's really easy to complete. Valerie and I are happy to help you complete it if you decide that you want to add a second major or add a minor, or even unfortunately change your major. It does happen, doesn't happen often, but we want to get you in the right spot. So again, honors students are assigned to Valerie, but they're also supported by professional staff members within the honors program. So your actual advising appointments with the honors students will be with the professional staff in the honors program. Valerie, I'm gonna turn it over to you to talk about academic advising.
Yeah, so Kelly already mentioned, as far as our academic advising model, I do want to point out, if we can go back one more slide just for a second. The previous slide. If not, that's okay. Okay, so Kelly mentioned that, if you are planning to add a major or minor, definitely you'll have to wait until after the fall semester once you have a GPA. I do want to share that at this point, we hope, and we hope that you all stay and remain within our college. But it's important to know that during the new student orientation process, if you already know, have it in your mind that you have changed your mind, it's important to tell myself or Kelly right away when we meet for your academic advising appointment if you are deciding to change your major, because that will be the only opportunity. So you have another opportunity before you actually start the semester to change your major, okay? That's important to note there. But we can go on to the next slide. But I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you. The University of Delaware, we have a huge campaign, Success to Finish in 4 Years. So as an academic advisor, our goal is to work with you to ensure that you finish in 4 years. We realize life happens, but we will do our best in terms of making sure we customize a plan that you're finishing your degree, earning your degree within your 4 years time frame here at the university. And to do that, we want to make sure that not only myself, and Kelly, but you as a student are also tracking your progress towards your degree. And so in order for this to happen, in order for you to successfully finish your degree within 4 years, it's very important that you as a student are taking at least 30 credit hours per semester or academic year, which would come out to about 15 credit hours per semester. I will definitely be tracking your progress, but it's important for you as a student that as you're going from semester to semester, planning your schedules, that you are definitely making sure you're tracking your progress too. We're working together on this, okay? It's also very important that you're meeting with me on a regular basis. It really depends. Our meetings could be as often as you like, or, as few times as you like. We're definitely going to meet before as you're planning registration for fall semester and spring semester in preparation for that. Double checking that you're taking the appropriate courses each semester to stay on track. But it's very important. Open lines of communication. So you can reach out to me. I will definitely be reaching out to you at the start of each and every semester to make sure you're getting on the schedule and to get on the calendar. It is very different from high school, where I know some of you are used to maybe your parents backing you, your family members, or even your high school counselors. Open lines of communication. So if you want to reach out to me early on, we can get you scheduled and make sure you're on track, and getting you all scheduled for your semester to semester. So definitely it's important, especially in your first year, ask before you make any changes. Right now, as we're going through the new student orientation process and as we're meeting for your academic advising appointment, you're going to kind of be locked in until August 1st. After August 1st, there are opportunities. If for whatever reason you need to adjust your schedule, you can do so after August 1st. However, I do ask that you reach out to me to just double check and make sure that you're in appropriate courses without making changes by yourself, okay? You want to make sure that you're in the right classes, okay, towards your degree. There are plenty of opportunities. I know this is a lot of information to you all, for you all as students and even your families, but we'll have plenty of times and opportunities where you'll learn the information systems at the University of Delaware we use to kind of track your progress towards your degree, so you can see all of your degree requirements, all of the classes that you're going to be required to take. Our information system is called UDSIS. We also have a scheduling platform, which is called Blue Hen Success Collaborative, and that's how you can schedule meetings and appointments with me. In that platform, you can see my schedule and just kind of pop in and schedule meeting times at any point throughout the week, okay? Review the advising website. So I'll share this probably with you a little bit later on. It talks a little bit more in detail about your responsibility as a student and my responsibility as your academic advisor, just making sure that you're on track. Okay. It's really important, again, as Kelly mentioned, as your advisor, we can help you in terms of interpreting academic policies and procedures. So if you ever have a question, you really don't understand something that's on the advising website or the UD website, always ask. We're more than happy to help and assist.
So one of the things that I'll add to what Valerie said is Valerie mentioned earlier, this is different than high school. We have 470 students within the college that are undergraduates, and we are not psychic. If you are having difficulty, our whole job is to help you be successful. We want to connect you to the right university resources to keep you successful. So if you need a tutor or you're having difficulty in a class and you want to know what your options are, reach out to Valerie, reach out to myself. We want to see you walk across that stage in 4 years, and we could not be more serious about that. It's the best part about our jobs. So reach out, let us know what kind of concerns that you have, that kind of thing. I will also note one of the things that you will hear about as you go into your on-campus orientations, your on-campus new student orientations. One of the things that they will talk to you about is if you had any kind of accommodations for disability support services in high school, please, please, please consider getting accommodations at the college level as well. I think we don't see a lot of students in our college in academic difficulty to the point that they're getting dismissed, but I would say 98% of those students had accommodations in high school that they did not follow up with and get accommodations at the college level, and it makes a difference. And we do have great resources on campus for disability support services. We are happy to connect you with those resources to keep you successful when it comes to getting a 4-year degree.
Yes. And so we have 2 questions. You want to wait for that, or can I go ahead and read it?
Yeah, let's go ahead and read questions. This is a
Yeah.
good place to pause for a second and answer some questions.
So one question, do transfer students also have to wait until the end of the semester to declare another major or minor?
That's a good question. Let me look into that. I think yes. I think you have to have a University of Delaware GPA to be able to transfer it, even as a transfer student.
And that is correct. So
Yeah.
at the end of the fall semester, once you have your GPA, you can then explore an additional minor or a major. Okay. The other question, great question. The other question is for athletes. Do we have separate additional academic advisor? I can answer that. Yes. So if you are a student athlete outside of myself, outside of being advised out of our college, you will also receive another advisor. The Students for Athletic, am I saying that wrong? Their Center for Academic Advising for Student Athletes. You will have an additional advisor to make sure that you're on track towards your degree as well. So you will also have an additional advisor to support you throughout your time here at UD. So yes, you will meet with them on a regular basis as well, because they want to make sure you're eligible to play your sport.
Yeah, they'll make sure that you stay eligible, and they'll also work with Valerie to make sure that that you are actually registered for the right classes. We know that practice times and things like that get a little tricky, but we work pretty closely with athletic department to make sure that students get what they need when it comes to that. Great questions so far. Keep them coming. Let me see if I can get this screen to advance. There you go. Valerie, still you.
Yeah. So student responsibilities. I actually talked a little bit about this early on, but yes, on our UD advising page, you will see your responsibilities as a student. And again, this is very different than high school. So as a student, we are going to treat you as adults, as you are, right? So you have some responsibilities outside of, for yourself. So making sure that you're on track, tracking your progress towards your degree, contacting me as your academic advisor to schedule appointments. Again, you can do this through Blue Hen Success Collaborative. It's an online website that you can literally schedule and get on my schedule at any point in time. Learning your degree requirements and understand UD academic policies. Sometimes the academic policies can be a little bit challenging. So if you ever have questions or need further explanations of that, we're here as a resource. Degree requirements. So there are several ways that you can kind of track your progress towards your degree. One is through your degree audit, which is located within UDSIS, our information system. And we also have what we call a UD undergraduate catalog. For each and every major at the University of Delaware, the UD catalog will outline per semester what courses you are required to take. Okay. It's really important for you as a student to prepare for your academic advising appointments, especially as we're preparing to meet during new student orientation. So coming up to showing up to the appointments readily prepared. If you are a student who has transfer credits, if you have not submitted your official transcript to the University of Delaware yet, making sure you have an unofficial transcript, making sure you have questions prepared. If there are certain questions or topics that you would like to discuss, writing those down before we meet so that we can actually get through your meeting smoothly and all of your questions are answered. Okay. Making sure you're following through with advising recommendations and referrals. So as you and I meet throughout the academic year, if I recommend something or refer you to a different office for additional resources or support, it's really important for you as a student to follow up. Okay. So I may, refer you to an office if you need assistance with tutoring. It's important for you to reach out to the tutoring services to write down, when your scheduled time frame is and to follow up on that referral. Okay. As a student, it is your responsibility to accept responsibility for your academic decisions. This means grades. So as you're going to class, making sure you're going to class, making sure you're reading your University of Delaware email. I know some of you, this is going to be a little bit of a transition. No longer do you just have your own personal email accounts, but you're going to have to remember to read your University of Delaware email address and making sure that you're following through. Each professor, as you're going to class, they're going to prepare you with like a syllabus, telling you when your assignments are due dates of everything. So making sure you're following through and owning up to that, right? Asking questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question. So if you are uncertain about anything, we don't want you to be in the dark. Ask us, myself, Kelly, your professors. We have several people here who actually are supporting you throughout your time here. So that's what we're here for. And again, Kelly mentioned, this is our job. So if you have any questions, please ask away.
I want to follow up on two quick things that Valerie pointed out. Please, please, please check your UD email at least once a day. I'm not saying you have to sit on it all the time, but you should be checking it at least once a day. It is how we are legally obligated to communicate with you. We cannot communicate with you to your Gmail address once you are a matriculated student. So if you need something, we're going to communicate, or if we need to see you, we're going to communicate to you via your UD email address. So please, please, please check that. There was one other thing that I was going to say, but now it's left my brain, but it'll come back soon. And I'll just be quiet now and turn it back over to Valerie.
And there is another question in chat on the Blue Hen portal. It asks to meet with Valerie and Kelly. Is it required to meet with both of you for NSO or just one? So to answer your question, many of you probably received the same message. You only need to meet with one of us during new student orientation, not both, just one meeting.
Pick whoever's schedule looks the best for you. And I'll be fully honest, Valerie knows the ins and out way better than I do. Valerie's in the degree audits every single day, talking to students. This is her full-time job. And so I know what you need to graduate and things like that, but Valerie's in the degree audits every single day. So there we go.
You want me to take this? So My job. So we talked about student responsibilities. Now we'll talk about my responsibility as your academic advisor. Really, my goal, my job is to really to provide assistance in developing realistic goals. So making sure, again, you're on track. You'll hear me say this several times, making sure that you're on track towards your degree program. It is also my job to assist you by monitoring your academic progress. So making sure that you're in the right classes in the appropriate time frames, interpreting academic policies, procedures, and requirements. Sometimes you may see, that's why, again, we're going to talk about this again. It's really important to check your UD email. There might be a curriculum change, or there might be a class that we're recommending you take at a certain time frame. All of this will be communicated to you via email, okay? So it's really important that you're checking your University of Delaware email, because we will share all this information out front early on so that, again, you're on track. It is also my goal and my job to aid you with selecting appropriate courses and to inform you of special academic opportunities and refer you to other university support services when appropriate. So if you are a student who's maybe struggling or having some challenges in a particular class, my goal and my job is really to connect you with our Office of Academic Enrichment, which offers academic, not academic coaching, but also they offer tutoring to all students of various subject matters. So if you are ever in need, I can connect you with those resources. We also, again, as Kelly mentioned, have several different resources across campus. In really anything that you need assistance with. So our job is to really connect you with those resources across campus just to ensure that you're successful and that you are having a great experience at UD.
One of the great things that Valerie does as part of her role is she does work with our environmentors, and we have two lead environmentors. Some of you may have met them at some of the various open houses that we have hosted. Ben and Bella. And Ben and Bella help Valerie publish a weekly newsletter, and we include all kinds of different on-campus happenings. But we also include a lot of special academic opportunities within that newsletter. So we have alumni that reach out about internships, about externships, about additional opportunities, about different on-campus seminars and things like that. So when you get that on Wednesday afternoons, usually, pay attention to that. Take some time to read it. It usually has a lot of really good additional information within that. And again, we send that to your UD email. Valerie, I can see that there's more questions. I can't see them on my side because it messes up my screen, but
So there's a couple of questions. One is about math placement, and if you don't score a certain goal, will it actually throw you off from graduating in the 4 years time frame? So the answer to that question is no. So this is a question that definitely will discuss during your individual academic advising appointment. It really could just mean that you may have an additional class, and I will recommend a different course instead of taking math. It will extend your math class. So we'll definitely talk to you individually about that if you want to stay on maybe after this, and we can further discuss that. There's another question about meetings. How do you schedule a time frame for during NSO? So all of you should have received an email from both Kelly and I. It went to your UD email, and I think maybe some personal emails, but UD email on how to schedule appointments during NSO for your academic advising appointment. If you did not receive that email, please let me know. It's essentially a link through our Blue Hen Success Collaborative where you just simply you can see available time slots, and I believe anytime from 9 to about 4 o'clock, we offer appointments. Okay.
And to follow up on the math placement exam, we are hearing a lot of concerns about it. We hear you. We are not in charge of the math placement exam. We are only responsible for getting you in the right and proper math class, but we are hearing concerns about the math placement exam. So please know we are communicating those back out to the math department. But Valerie's right. Even if you test lower than what you expect, please know that we will work with you. There's lots of opportunities to stay up to date with your math requirements. We always offer various math classes in winter session and summer session. And we often have students who take courses at their local community colleges when they're back home over the summer, to stay on track or to catch up, if you end up testing into a lower level math class, than what you had anticipated. We will work with you and communicate that out, in whatever way we can to make it easy for you to get into the proper math class for your degree requirements.
And there is another question about if you're in the honors college, will we have an academic advising session with you or I, Kelly, or the honors advisor? So if you are in the honors college or honors student, you will actually meet with our faculty members, and the honors college will actually coordinate your academic advising session during new student orientation. After that, once the semester starts, you will have two advisors, a couple. So you'll meet with me, and you'll also meet with an advisor from the honors college, if that makes sense. Okay. And there is another question.
Questions. These are great questions.
The slideshow will be available after this meeting. Yes.
Yeah, we'll save it as a PDF and send it out to everybody, and you'll also get a recording of it. So it's a great question.
That's
All
it.
right. I'll take this one since you've had to talk a lot. So, how to stay on track. So we want to make sure that you're making good academic progress, towards your degree. So most of the time, and I will say most of the time with a caveat, you need a C- or better for courses to count towards graduation. There are some very rare exceptions for that. And your minimum GPA to continue in our programs is a 2.0. You have to have a 2.0 to graduate. If you have scholarships or financial aid opportunities that require a different minimum GPA, then you're responsible and have to pay attention to that. If you're struggling in a class, we have a couple of different options. So we want to make sure that, we talked earlier about the 15 to finish. We want to make sure that you're in general, 15 credit hours a semester. But say you get in a class and you're struggling in that class. And it's during the first 2 weeks of the semester, you can change a class with no penalty to your academic record. It doesn't show one way or the other. But after that, after I think it's the 10th day of courses, you have two different options. You can either choose to audit a class, which means you go to that class still and you remain as a listener and you get an L on your record, or you can withdraw from that class. I'm going to share a little bit later on the calendar of dates, and there is a deadline that you have the last day to withdraw from a single course. It is very far into the semester, but at that point, if you're struggling in a course, your only option is to withdraw from that course, or if you miss the deadline, you have to take the failing grade. So we can only make so many change of registrations to things within the certain dates, but we do communicate those out to your UD email address. Are you sensing a pattern? So we make sure that students are well aware of that, and we are happy to help you if you need help in auditing or withdrawing from a course. That's part of our whole role at the university. If you have communication concerns, I know that for a lot of folks on this call, you've been used to parents or guardians or loved ones being able to help out. Once you matriculate to the university, we have a federal law called FERPA, and when a parent or guardian calls in to speak with us, we're not legally allowed to tell your loved one anything. We can communicate with you about your academic record because it is, in fact, your academic record. There are permissions that people can sign and put on file where we can further discuss things, but especially for family members and loved ones that are listening in, please understand it is nothing personal, but we are under federal law that prevents us from discussing academic records or grades or attendance or anything with you. So we are happy to communicate it directly to your student. And when you go to your larger new student orientation sessions, they'll talk a little bit more in depth about this and about how to go about securing permissions. This also bleeds over into financial aid. So I know many of you are the ones footing the bill, but they talk at the larger university level about how to secure those permissions to be able to see some of those things. And then, we communicate a lot and refer you back to UDSIS, so the student information system. But again, I know we've said this several times. We really want you to ask questions. We really want to help you. But we need to know what your questions and concerns are. You can always email us. Again, it's going to be me, Valerie, or Janice answering those emails, and we're happy. We'd rather you email and ask than just go along in blissful ignorance. We'd rather you know. So email us and ask us. I see we have more questions, Valerie.
So if we have IB credit classes but don't have your scores yet, will that impact the classes we take? The answer to that is yes. So it's really important. This is about being prepared for your academic advising appointment. So if you have taken, waiting on some scores, please let us know during your individual academic advising appointment, because we'll make note of that, and we will make sure that we're waiting on your scores so that we're putting you in the appropriate courses. We're not placing you in a class you already received credit for, essentially. So yes, okay. I know a lot of the scores really don't come out till July. So I've been telling students, if you have, as soon as you get them, take a screenshot, send it to me, but really send your official scores to the University of Delaware through the College Board, okay? There is another question about, do we make a virtual advising appointment separate from the one you're going to in person? Yes. I know the language is a little bit confusing at UD because you're seeing NSO everything, NSO appointment, NSO advising. So all of the academic advising appointments during new student orientation are going to be virtual. So yes, you will make a virtual academic advising appointment separate from the one you're going, the large in-person NSO, or if you're doing a virtual one, okay? And the reason that we're doing this is that when you're coming in person, coming to campus, we want to make sure that you're getting the full experience. You're engaged there. We don't want to take your time away from those opportunities of meeting with other staff member of other different units across campus, okay? So you're going to make 2 separate appointments, okay? Great question.
And one of the most important things to do when you come for your in-person new student orientation appointment is to eat the ice cream.
Yes.
You got to make time for the ice cream.
1923 is my favorite.
Same. And well, I like the sorbet too. Well, this is a perfect segue into academic advising. So I'll mute again and turn it back over to you, Valerie.
Yeah, so we've already kind of covered a lot of this, but when you meet with myself or Kelly during your academic advising appointment, the length, it will be about 30 minutes in length, depending on if you have several questions or not. You will see, some of you may have noticed as you're logging into UDSIS, which is our information system, or Blue Hen Success, that you may have been pre-registered for some classes. You may have seen a class or 2 already on your academic record. And that is true. It is not it's not a joke. You will see that we're working on some things on our end in collaboration with our registrar's office. So don't be alarmed by seeing that. You should have all received an email from me a couple of weeks ago regarding being preparation by completing a pre-advisement questionnaire and breath option form. It was a Google form that was submitted to sent to all of you, your UD email. If by chance you did not receive that, please let me know. I'm happy to, stay on the call and go through that with you all. But this form helps us to get to know you a little bit better, and it helps your appointment go a lot smoother and quicker so that we can get right down to some of the questions or concerns you may have, okay? So it's a quick questionnaire. It's going to ask, some basic questions if you have transfer credits, waiting on APIB scores, and your options. Breadth requirements are university electives. So it's an opportunity for you to take classes outside of your major, okay? Topics to discuss during our advising appointment. We will discuss things such as college credits. Were you enrolled as a student in some college courses, dual enrollment? AP classes that you have taken, IB classes that you have taken, scores, what those scores may mean for the classes that you're going to take in the fall, okay? Special concerns or accommodations. Kelly mentioned this earlier. If you were a student who received special accommodations, maybe you received testing accommodations in high school, and you want to continue that here at UD, that's important for us to know. If you are a student athlete and you know ahead of time some of your practice schedules, that's important for us to know so that we're planning around your schedule, okay? So if you know you have practice Tuesdays and Thursdays, let us know. So we'll we can make those accommodations for you. Okay. All schedules will not be finalized during your academic advising appointment, but later on as of August 1st. So between now and August 1st, we're kind of locked in the classes, certain classes that we're going to discuss during your appointment. But after August 1st is when we have opportunities if we need to make any adjustments for whatever reason. We can make those adjustments after August 1st. So you'll be able, August 1st, see your full schedule, the classes you're going to be enrolled in, what professors you have, what days and times, and where they're located. Okay. And
Yeah,
I think
it's important to note that during this time period, you might log in sometime next week and see a schedule, and then it'll change. So don't get attached to anything until after August 1st. August 1st is when we finalize everything with the registrar's office. And I'm sure Valerie can also put the link in for the pre-advisement questionnaire. Just in case people are missing it. That's a good thing. We can pop that in the chat. But I appreciate, I know Valerie and I both met with some students early today, ahead of this presentation. And I think a lot of folks, we were like, okay, what breath classes that you want? And we got some blank stares. And so, it is very helpful for us when you come in to do these advising appointments, if we know what kind of courses you're interested in taking. And I will say, when it comes to the breath courses, I would look at, what's open and available. Make sure you're taking 100 or 200 level courses. We are not going to put you in a 300 or 400 level course as an incoming freshman. It's just not a great idea. We want you to be successful your first semester. And when you're looking at breadth options, you will choose from courses in creative arts and humanities, history and cultural change, and social and behavioral sciences. I always tell students, pick something you're interested in. If you're not interested in philosophy, don't take a philosophy course. It's going to be boring to you. There are plenty of options out there to be able to take things that you are interested in and to stay engaged. I see a lot of questions that popped up during this, so let's go through those real quick.
So there's one question: how do you see if you're pre-registered for a class? So this would require that you log into your information system, UDSIS and Blue Hen Success. During your individual appointment, I will actually pull it up so that you can see, okay? Because it does require that you know your student ID, which many of you probably don't have just yet. There's another question about completing the pre-advisement survey and finding breath courses. You saw that there were a lot of classes were full. Will they open more classes, or does that mean the courses will not be available in the fall? Great question. Some courses are already, you are correct. A lot of courses are going to be full. There are a lot of courses that are pretty popular, but it does not mean there aren't other options. So I'm happy to go over, even to stay after this meeting, if for a few of you who just kind of want to see what it looks like, what this particular student is talking about, as far as what available courses are going to be available in the fall. I will say students are changing their schedules every day. So after August 1st, there may be some space available. So definitely during your advising appointment, if there's a particular class that you really caught your eye and you're really passionate about it, let me know. And I can talk to, the department to see if we can place you on a wait list at least. So if a seat becomes available, we can get you in there. Okay. There's another question about computer recommendations. What computer is recommended for the environmental science major? And so to this, I can assure you that Dr. Mundal, our faculty director, as of right now, there's no recommendations on a computer, just not maybe for those who are still taking the math placement exam, no Chromebooks. That won't be compatible with some of the programs we have. But outside of that, anything's available. Some of you, if you don't have a computer or laptop right now, we also have computer labs across campus that have all the programs that you'll need for your major. So that is available to you, open several, times throughout the day and the evening. So that is another option as well. Okay.
Yeah, and the same is true for marine science folks who, just about any of our majors. Anything outside of a Chromebook that you can add or download software to will work as an option. So any kind of general PC, a Dell, a Mac, anything like that will work outside of a Chromebook.
Yeah. There's another question. Do honor students need to complete the questionnaire as well, or a separate one? I would say yes. Let's have you complete that questionnaire as well, because it's good. We can also share this information with our faculty that you'll meet with, as well as the Honors College. So it'll help us get to know a little bit more about you. Okay. Do we need to sign up for classes ASAP, or is that something we can do at NSO or in our academic advisory meeting? If we need to do it now, how can we? Okay, so great point, great question. During new student orientation, you all are not responsible for enrolling or for registration. During your individual appointments, you and I will discuss the classes that you're going to be required to take. But it is a good idea for you to start thinking about classes, select electives, as in breadth courses that you're interested in. Our job, myself and Kelly, we're going to work with the registrar's office to get you enrolled. So no need to worry. This semester, we're taking care of it. Okay. You will not need to enroll in classes this semester. Moving forward, you will.
The
Okay.
exception to this on this call is transfer students. I know we have a handful, maybe 3 or 4 transfer students on this call. When you come in for your new student orientation appointment, you will have a hold on your record, meaning that you have to meet with me or Valerie to release your hold, and we will work with the registrar to go ahead and get you all registered for courses now. So
Great point. Great point. So another question is, where can I find the breadth courses? So in the chat, I am going to share the link to our UD Course Search website, and I'm happy to go through this as well after we complete this, so that you all as students to kind of know how to navigate this website. But the UD Course Search is a great tool where you can see all of the available courses that fulfill one of the categories for the university breadth requirements. Okay.
okay.
Other questions? We're good? Okay. Go
I
ahead.
think we're good. So in general, when you meet with us for your new student orientation, these are the most likely classes that we're going to talk about. So we're going to try to get as many of you as possible in English 110. It's not going to be everyone. There's a lot of people who want to take English 110. If you don't get it in the fall, you will get it in the spring. Do not worry. We would like to start you on a math, which is why the math placement exam is crucial. Most of our degree programs require, especially our Bachelor of Science programs, require a pre-calculus or higher placement. But again, don't worry about it. We want you placed in pre-calc, but if you don't have the math placement score, we will work with you to get you in the proper math class. Nearly all of our degree programs require a foreign language. So we will likely try to get you started in whatever language placement makes sense. While you certainly don't have to continue in the foreign language that you took in high school, most students do. But if you want to start a new language, you have that opportunity as well. We will put you in supporting science courses if we are able. A lot of that is contingent upon your math placement exam. So we'll try to get you into chemistry and or biology. University breadth requirements, probably every single person on this call is going to be in at least one breadth requirement, which is why we ask you to fill out that survey. And then we're going to put you in a course that is considered your first year seminar. So for some of your majors, it's going to be UNIV 100, or I'm sorry, 101. For marine science, it's going to be MAST 100. And for our environmental science and study students, it's going to be in ENVR or ENSC 101. So again, we register you for your first semester in collaboration with the registrar's office, and you're going to be responsible for meeting with Valerie or your honors advisor to register for spring. So don't feel like we're, just tossing you out to sea. We're here to help, especially as it comes time to register for the spring. And we always do a couple of workshops leading up to spring registration about how to register. We do some group advising. Usually there's pizza. At that point, you'll be craving free food. So we'll make sure that we have some sessions to get you registered and prepped for the spring.
There is a question about, do I need to take math placement tests if I already took a college pre-calc in high school?
It's a great question.
Yes, you do.
If you are coming in with AP credit, that's something else that we need to consider, but you have to make sure that your score is going to be high enough for us to be able to get you into a different math class. But so we recommend the math placement exam no matter what. We've talked a little bit about this at length, but there's a lot of different opportunities for you to get engaged on campus. It's not just about academics. I know what we talk about is mostly focused on academics, but we want you to be a well-rounded student and to have a great college experience. And we know that some of that is engaging outside the classroom. Part of Valerie's background is working with student organizations. So I'm always so impressed because we've got a student in our office and they're interested in something. Valerie knows like this whole long list, of course, of programs that students can get involved in. And that includes Greek life and Students for the Environment, different things within the college. You want to talk a little bit more about environment? We talked a little bit about environmentors. You want to talk a little bit more about either one of those things?
Yeah. So as Kelly mentioned, yes, it's really important. The best way to really kind of get acclimated to college and to meet people and connect with others is to really get involved. Academics are important, but again, we want you to be involved in and outside of the classroom. So student organizations, there's a variety to choose from, whether it's academic focus. We have several academic focus organizations for each and every major. Environmentors, I already mentioned this. These are our small group of student ambassadors. So you all will actually be connected to and have the opportunity to meet with our environmentors, which are upperclassmen, to kind of help you get used to the campus environment. They'll be there to support you first day of classes during academic orientations. If you are lost and you don't know where your classes are, we'll have a few environmentors there to kind of support you and walk you through to where your classes are going to be, okay, the next day. Study abroad. I don't know if you want to share there's plenty of opportunities for you as students to get involved through our study abroad opportunities. Many of our students within our college, they'll take advantage of studying in a different country during our winter session. Some of the popular ones are New Zealand. We have, Kelly mentioned earlier, we have some students who are abroad this summer in Costa Rica. Doing some research for getting some field experience or internship opportunities. So there's several ways and opportunities for you to get that experience if you are a student who really wants or interested in going to visit or actually study within another country. I do ask that as you're preparing for that, just make us aware. We want to make sure that you're in the right program that again offers opportunities towards your degree program. Okay, so making sure that you're communicating with us and letting us know which programs you're interested in going to. We will all love to go to Hawaii, but we want to make sure Hawaii offers an opportunity for you as a marine science student or environmental science student to get, some of the credits towards your degree.
We even have a study abroad in Florida, which is not really abroad, but you do, through the marine science program, you can go study abroad in Florida, and swim with manatees down there with Captain Mike Burns, who's our scuba instructor. So lots of opportunities for study abroad. And I know we've got some World Scholars on the call. Our World Scholar students are spending their first semester of their freshman year in Madrid or Auckland. So we know they're going to have a great experience abroad as well. Lots of opportunities for undergraduate research. We have about 140 graduate students in the college, and they work in various labs in all the departments. And we put undergraduate students in those labs and offer opportunities for students to engage at the undergraduate level with some of the research that our graduate students are doing. That's important for mentoring and for getting that experience. And if you're thinking about graduate schools or things like that, it's important that we offer these opportunities and you work with your faculty advisors in the department and myself to make sure that we're connecting you to those opportunities. Lots of co-curricular programming. So again, you're going to get emails from the departments about different seminars and things like that are available, special speakers. Go to those programs. That's how you network. That's how you get to know people within the department. That's how you get some of these research opportunities. It's all about talking to people. Each and every one of our majors has an internship or field experience component. Again, that's something that we see predominantly in junior and senior year. And you work with faculty advisors to make sure that you're getting those internships and field experiences. And then we have an additional program called Climate Scholars, which is it's a co-curricular program it's housed within the college. Not every climate scholar is an earth, ocean, and environment major. It's a program that's offered across the university, and we have folks from every college and school engaged in that, and they're looking at climate focused solutions both in Delaware Valley and around the world, and they have special programming and opportunities through the Climate Scholars Program, and there's a competitive application process for that. Valerie, it looks like we've got more questions.
Yep. So there was a question as you were talking, Kelly. I just actually I was answering them. So is there a full list, a site where we can see all the abroad programs, the locations? So I did put in the link to the Global Study Abroad program. So that will give you a complete list of all the countries that we partner with and the partner institutions. Okay.
And we have some that are specific to the college that we will send out to everyone in the fall. There's a study abroad fair that happens in the fall, and we communicate out very heavily about the ones that are very focused on for our majors. That's not to say you have to do one that is focused from the college, but it is much easier to get your credits to count if you do one that's associated with the college.
And then another question, if you have a DVR, do you have an extra advisor along with Valerie? Are you referring to like if you are talk a little bit more about that, Christina? Are you
I'm gonna
on
let her put that in the chat
Okay.
and we'll
Go ahead.
I know we're running short on time. I'm sure people have things that they want to do tonight. This is a great screen to screenshot. These are the important dates to remember for fall 2024. So August 23rd is when you'll get your move-in date, and when welcome days begin, you'll have a lot of programming from the university. Go do as much of that as possible. It's going to be great. It's a great time to be on campus. The energy is like no other. So you're going to move into your residence halls. You're going to have lots of programming about starting your education at UD. You're going to meet with us on August 26th. So in the morning, Valerie doesn't even know this yet because I just got permission to do it today. We're going to host a breakfast for all of our incoming students. So you'll have breakfast with all of our incoming freshman, transfer, and graduate students, and folks from the academic departments will feed you for free. And then you'll go out to your academic orientations. So you'll meet with your departments in the morning, and you'll get a little welcome from the college, and you'll hear from the dean, who's a lovely man, and he loves to interact and talk with students. August 27th, which is Tuesday, is the first day of classes for the fall semester. September 10th is the last day of free drop ads. So this is the last day that you can make a change to your schedule that's not going to be reflected on your schedule. So anything after September 10th at 5 p.m. is going to be a W or an L on your records. So make sure that if you're thinking about changing classes, you do before September 10th. Parents and loved ones, this is October 11th is a good date to remember, because that's the date you're going to get to see how your student is doing in the midterm. Not every professor posts midterm grades. Don't panic about that, but the majority of them do for freshman students. So those will be posted in UDSIS. November 4th is when spring registration opens. That is not to say that your appointment is going to be on November 4th, but that is when spring registration opens, and you will know ahead of November 4th when your actual registration date is, and that will be listed in UDSIS. November 11th is the last day to change registration. This is what I was talking about earlier. This is the last day for you to make a registration change to a single course. Anything after November 11th has to be a total and complete withdrawal, or you could potentially fail that class. So if you're struggling in a class, and we will do plenty of outreach ahead of November 11th, but please make those changes before November 11th. December 10th is the last day of classes. And that is the day that classes actually end. That does not mean that your final exams are done, because final exams are the 12th through the 16th. Please, 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 please be mindful when you are scheduling winter break vacations that you do not schedule it over the 12th through the 16th if your student has classes or final exams. We can't excuse absences for people who just want to go home early. And that is an important thing to note. So, and it also brings me to the point that if you end up needing an excused absence, we talk a lot about this at the university orientation, but our office is the one that handles excused absence. And actually, it's not even excused absences anymore. It's a documented absence. So we require documentation for absences to be able to communicate to your faculty that you have missed a class. And then here's our social media stuff. I will say, like, parents, families, the family members that are on the call, follow us on social media. You will see all of the really cool stuff that our students are doing. So that we post very regularly on social media. We post in the Family Hub about what our students are doing and how they're engaging with their studies and around the world. Right now, one of the things that's on our social media is we have a group of students in our Earth Sciences program. They're out west for 30 days. They're at the Grand Canyon this week with a group of faculty members doing their field experience and exploring the Grand Canyon. Today, they were hiking along the rim of the Grand Canyon and exploring rock formations out there. So you get to see cool stuff like that. We've got a student who's doing studies in Hawaii with an active volcano. She posts on our social media sometimes, but it's really the opportunity to highlight what our students are doing and what the college is doing and how you can engage better with the college. You'll have the opportunity to visit the Lewis campus for Coast Day, which is always the first Sunday in October. It's a great opportunity to come down and see what students are doing. And we very rarely open the Lewis campus up to the public for people just to walk through, but Coast Day is a good opportunity to sort of show off what students are doing and to see that facility if that's something that you are interested in. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. We'll continue recording for just a couple more minutes because I can see we have a couple of questions in here still. So Valerie, let's go
Yep.
with some additional questions.
So there was a question with what date does spring break begin? And I've already placed it in the chat. Spring break begins starting March 22nd, the Friday, March 22nd. So another question, to be clear, if I'm an honors student, will I have to schedule a virtual academic advising appointment with my honors advisor? So for those of you, again, who are honors students or in the honors college, the honors college will reach out to you by email. And they will tell you, share with you their appointment timeframes. Okay. So they'll reach out to you to schedule your academic advising session. You will not meet with Kelly or myself. Does that make sense? Other questions?
And if anybody wants to unmute and ask a question, now is that time.
And if there are no questions, what I will do, going back to that pre-advisement survey, definitely, please, and encourage you to take a look at that survey. I have placed it in the chat. For everyone else, you should have received an email again. Check your UD email and make sure that you're filling out that pre-advisement survey. What you see before you on the screen, there's very specific instructions in that email I sent to you. But if you are a student who you want to take a look at what available university breadth requirements we have, this is the UD Course Search website. So you can kind of see how to navigate this. The term, make sure at the top it says fall 2024, search type, courses with open seats. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says university breadth requirements, you're going to check the first 3 boxes. Click search, and every single course that meets one of those 3 categories will populate on your screen. So as you're looking, this can be overwhelming. That's why we're asking you to take a little bit of time before your academic advising appointment to decide on, I would say at minimum, at least 4 breadth courses that you're really interested in and rank them. First choice, second choice, third choice, fourth choice. If you click on each course, it will give you a description. It will tell you in the notes what requirement it satisfies, and will also give you a description, topics that are going to be covered within as you are going into the class, okay? So just to kind of give you an idea, again, I placed that form in the chat. Are there questions about this?
To be clear, you would like us to fill out that Google form even if we're an honor student who won't have an advising session with you?
Yes, please.
Yes, because we can share that. Yes, because we're going to share that with our faculty and the Honors College as well.
It's a great question.
I
also want to note, like, I know this is a ton of information. We do not expect you to know and to remember all of this. It's, again, I know we keep saying this is our job, but it is our job. It's our job to make sure that you get this information communicated to you 100 different ways. and 100 different times. So again, we're always happy to answer questions. We're so excited for you to start with us in the fall. We're going to see a lot of you over the summer. So, you know, if you have questions, anything that comes up over the summer, feel free to let us know. I also just want to say thank you for everyone's time tonight. I'm going to end our, I'm going to pause our recording here to say good night to everybody.